Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the shipping room, Love Bytes. We are joined today by one of our favorites. He has been George Tucker on Hart of Dixie. He's Jason Street on Friday Night Lights. You're going to know him right now as Paul Randolph on Ginny and Georgia. Welcome to Love Bytes, Scott Porter. Hi.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Hello.
So today what we wanted to do with Scott is to play a little bit of a this or that game with him. So we're going to ask him a few tough questions that we want to just hear what he has to say about. So Tamar, do you want to throw out the first question to Scott?
Yeah, but I feel like this is impossible. So we're going to start with this, but it might get easier. All right, you ready? So Texas Forever or Long Live the Heart?
Oh man. If you say clear eyes for hearts can't lose, I think that one wins. Texas Forever, Along with the Heart. It's interesting because both my characters in both shows needed to get out of those towns. I think a lot of people want to move to Bluebell, and I think a lot of people want to get out of Dillon. Yeah, it's a toss-up, but clear eyes for hearts can't lose.
All right, who has a scarier dark side, Kalinda from The Good Wife or Georgia from Ginny and Georgia?
Oh man, as far as I know, Kalinda never killed the dude, but we're not sure if I don't know. We think that Georgia might have killed someone. Oh man, I don't know. I think everything Georgia does is for her kids. I think everything that Kalinda did was for her self promotions, and I think Kalinda is a little more dangerous because I think Georgia is a little more noble in the reason that she's doing these things.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Okay. Better Pokemon starter, fire, water, or grass?
I am partial to water for the most part. Squirtle Squad for life. Squirtle's my jam, but every now and then a grass Pokemon really gets my attention. But water.
All right. TV parents you would rather have, Eric and Tammy Taylor or Zeke and Camille Braverman?
Yeah. Coach and Tammy.
Yeah.
I think there was a struggle in parenthood of Camille not feeling as though she had had her moment in the sun with Zeke, that I think with Coach and Tammy was really brought to the fore in the final season. And I think the way that Coach and Tammy leave Texas and it's for her, I think at the end of the day is fantastic. And watching the two of them just get through everything that they had to face, I think Coach and Tammy is my answer.
All right.
Okay. Better mayor, LaVon Hayes on Hart of Dixie or Paul Randolph on Ginny and Georgia?
Oh man, I'm not gonna pick myself. I gotta go with LaVon for right now. I think LaVon somehow is the mayor of a city that tries to avoid conflict at every turn, and Paul kind of invites it. And the people in Bluebell are wonderful people, and the conflict is not necessary. And the fact that he doesn't invite it, I think gives him a leg up. So I'll go with LaVon, and I will say no to Paul Randolph.
Yeah. Better office romance, Ben and Leslie or Jim and Pam?
Oh man, Ben and Leslie.
Yeah,
Ben and Leslie. I think with Ben and Leslie, it's again, I talk about this a lot, but it's two people who know what they're trying to accomplish and are driving towards it. And then with Jim and Pam, it was more like two people who are afraid to make that decision so often. And so for me, and everybody is different and there's no wrong answers. So Jim and Pam, please don't come find me. But yeah, Ben and Leslie, I think, yeah.
Best friend, Tim Riggins, Wade Kinsella.
Oh man. both did the. I mean, it's Wade. I think because I think it's Wade. I think it's Wade Kinsella, and not to take anything away from Riggins, because Riggins and Street, they will be bonded together forever. But I'm not so sure that their friendship isn't forged out of the fire, out of like the crucible. And if they were in a different place, would they still have found each other and been friends? I guess you can still ask the same question about George and Wade, but I think there's an easier back and forth between the two of them. And I think Wade gave more with George than Riggins did with Street. I don't know. Oh man, that's so tough. I don't know. That's a draw. It's a draw. It's a draw because the thing is like Wade would never break somebody out of the hospital. Like Riggins goes that extra step.
Yeah.
And even though it might be misguided and it might be the wrong decision, like Riggins goes with Street to Mexico. Riggins breaks him out of the hospital.
Yeah.
I've changed my mind. It's Riggins. It's Riggins. God, did you see that emotional torment that you guys put me through?
I just really love that.
It's Riggins. Oh, because also Riggins knew that Lila wasn't for Jason in the first place, so he just did it in the most horrific way. But yeah, Lila and Jason were never meant to be together. So yeah, okay.
All right, this one is for all of our Destiny friends out there. Titan, Warlock, or Hunter?
I started as a Titan main, and now Warlock knows. I'm a Warlock now pretty consistently. What did it for me, and this is all of your followers and friends are shutting this off right now, but I'm going to try and link it to this. For a long time, all three of these classes were just about going and beating up the other guy. The Warlock then became a nurturer, a healer, and you have the ability to help your compatriots. And so when that happened, the Warlock became the one that I love the most. Well of Radiance for the win. Warlock is my main now.
Awesome.
I'm such a nerd.
No, you're not. Okay, here's another one that might put you into some emotional turmoil here. Marvel or DC?
Oh man. I mean, oh boy. I have my favorites on both sides, but I came to Marvel first. I read X-Men before anything else, and then started to read Spider-Man. And this was back in the days when my dad worked in an automobile repair shop, and the gas station across the street had a spinner rack in it, and they pretty much only carried Marvel at the time. So I was Marvel first, and I've come to really appreciate DC, and the Flash is one of my all-time favorite characters. I have artwork by Scotty Young, who is an incredible cartoonist and artist, of me dressed up as the Flash on one knee, asking my wife, who is dressed up as her favorite Disney princess, Jasmine, to marry me. And it's like, I'm not your prince, but I can still be your hero. Like, will you marry me? And so, the Flash is like my favorite all-time character. So DC has a leg up there, but I think as a whole, I've read more Marvel in my life.
Okay, I got another Tim Riggins one for you. Better bad boy, Tim Riggins or Lucifer?
Oh man. I mean, Lucifer is the ultimate bad boy. Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, Riggins wasn't
true.
I mean, he was, because he couldn't get out of his own way. But again, they both have daddy issues, right? They both have, whether it's on the golf course or in heaven.
Yeah.
They're both having issues. But I think Riggins, I think his turn was faster than Lucifer's, and I mean, how can you argue with the devil being the better bad boy?
Yeah, that's fair.
True, that's kind of the ultimate.
And Riggins won the best friend off, so let's just, he got one already.
True. And what about better team, Dillon Panthers or East Dillon Lions?
It's no contest. Dillon Panthers.
Just checking.
I mean, listen, Vince is great, but
yeah,
it's the OG Dillon Panthers, period, hands down.
Okay.
All right, George and Lemon or George and Tansy?
George and Tansy. I think a lot of people's fears of in natural life is that you make a decision too early and you never explore anything else and you stop learning about who you are as a person. And I think we are all on a quest for knowledge about ourselves and about how we fit in the world, and we have a thirst for different perspectives. And I think Tansy does all of that with George, and I think he is freer with her than he ever was with Lemon. And there's something in this world of expectations crushing people and relationships. I think Lemon and George are always friends, but I don't think they were ever meant to truly spend their life together. And Tansy and George never had that expectation thrust upon them. So I think that relationship just existed on its own and organically and naturally. And I give them the leg up.
Awesome. Better Star-Lord, you or Chris Pratt?
I mean, it's Chris Pratt. I'm just happy to follow in his footsteps. You know, it was really interesting. He got the movies, and then I've done Star-Lord in almost every video game in the past 5-6 years. And, you know, I'm pretty much the voice of Star-Lord now in video games, which is really cool. But that's a way for me to get my nerd quotient filled. And he's the only Peter Quill, really. But because of that, because I play Star-Lord, he's plays Star-Lord. When the Lego movie came out, they needed somebody to do an Emmett impression for a commercial, and Chris wasn't available, so they called me for it. I said no, but I said, why are you asking me? And they said, because you're both Star-Lord. Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then we have two just sort of random open-ended ones. What is your go-to karaoke song?
Depends on my mood, man. If I want to rock, it's Carry On My Wayward Son. If I want to do some R&B and make some love connections happen that night for people out in the crowd, I sing Pony by Genuine.
Of course.
And yeah, those are two strong go-tos for me.
Okay.
And what about your go-to comfort movie?
Favorite comfort movie. All right, let me see here. If we're talking about comfort in the sense that if it's on, you just can't help but watch it all the way through, no matter what movie you're in or no matter what time of the movie you're in, Lord of the Rings or anything in the Harry Potter series. If you're looking to have like cathartic comfort, like something that makes you feel some kind of way, Kubo and the Two Strings is a beautiful film. Everything from Studio Leica is. The Life of Pi is another film that makes me feel just in touch with my emotions and everything. And About Time is probably like my favorite romantic comedy of all time. So comfort in that sense. Yeah, but I've also got kids. So there's a lot of movies from my childhood that I remember fondly that I watch with them now, like a Robin Hood or a Jungle Book, that help give me some comfort. And I think those movies or something like Back to the Future from when I was a kid, that's a little more grown up, or Clue, which just makes me laugh and takes me back to a time when I didn't have to worry about as much. So some comfort movies. I know that's not one answer. I think Lord of the Rings is at the top of that as far as movies I can't help but watch. But I think I'm more of a comfort TV guy. And the top of my list for comfort TV are two shows in particular, and that would be Parks and Recreation, my all-time favorite comedy, I think, and Survivor, which just really makes me feel like I'm a part of something, having watched every single season. And those are my two, I think, comfort TV shows, and I feel a little bit lost without them. So there you go. I hope that answers your question.
I have one more that I have piggyback on, since you're a reader and we are big readers. What is your book that you go to that you've read over and over and over again and you just never get sick of?
Yeah, man, that's another good one. I mean, The Hobbit is up there, and it just is such an empowering tale of like this person who thinks they're nothing, who thinks they're being brought into something too big for them, who ends up realizing that they're strengths were the weakness of everyone else around them, and they can overcome it all. The Hobbit is a big one. There's also a book called The Cowboy and the Cossack that was like the first like grown-up book that I read out loud with my family, and it's about these cowboys who lead 400 head of cattle up through Seattle over to Russia and then through the Russian countryside as Russia is in turmoil, and this contingency trying to overthrow the monarchy is being starved by the Russian monarchy. And it's this really, it's not a book that, it's those books that I remember so fondly, but that are tough to go back and read. The Road by Cormac McCarthy probably as well is one of those that I read and they just allow me to reflect or to feel like a sense of adventure or a sense that I can do anything. So I'd say The Hobbit first, but those are 3 books that I have read threadbare.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this episode of Love Bites and our longer episode of The Shipping Room. If you haven't yet, everybody go check out Ginny and Georgia streaming on Netflix for your fix of Scott Porter. And we will hopefully do this again soon. Thanks so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. Keep on crushing it, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
The Shipping Room is part of the Frolic Podcast Network. Find more podcasts you'll love at frolic.media/podcasts.